How's it going, everybody? My name's Absalom. Welcome back. This is chapter 76, the final chapter of my full platinum walkthrough of Crimson Desert. Today, we complete our journey and earn that juicy platinum trophy. We catch all the fish of the world. We catch all the bugs of the world. We also make a great trek to Pailune. Today's chapter is the end of Pailune, as much as that saddens me to say, but there is no better foreshadowing quote than this for this chapter. I wish there was a way to know we were in the good old days before we actually left them. Thank you, Andy Bernard, and now let's begin our final chapter. Well, I'm here with the day one homies, and if you can't tell, me and the squad are ready for platinum. Today's the day. We are doing it, and we went through a big transformation to get ready for today. We got our armor all dyed up, nice and platinum blue. Herspy is fired up. Chuck, you're looking alive as well. We'll work on that armor, buddy. I know the devs don't want you to have blue armor, but listen, you're coming with me to the finish line whether you like it or not, buddy, because it's chapter 76. It's time for our lovely chapter to start here. So I'm going to give you a pet, and Herspia, you get a pet as well. Looking rather sharp in that blue armor, I might say. Nice and matching. But anyways, today is the Platinum Journey finale, and let's begin chapter 76. So this video is structured a little bit different than my previous chapters. This one is broken into sections. Each one is going to be timestamped below if you guys want to jump around. Do these in no particular order. It doesn't really matter. But section 1 is going to be the move to Pailune and everything that you need for that. Section 2 is going to be collecting all the fish for that challenge. Section 3 is the bugs and getting all those for the challenge, and also our platinum trophies. That's where I'm going to pop the trophy. And then in section 4, I'm going to go over all the extracurricular things you can do outside of the platinum journey. So stuff like the treasure maps, the legendary pets, all of the side stuff, the little mini games. There's a lot of little things you can do in this world, and I just wanted to showcase a lot of that. And then in section 5, I'm going to go over my review of the game as well as a few other things and the outro of our walkthrough. So each section, again, it's timestamped. And with that out of the way, let's get into section 1. Okay, so this is all about rebuilding to Pailune. We've been working on this for the last couple chapters here. And for anyone that's tuning in late here for this section right here, basically you have to finish the main story. You have to also complete the, what is it called? Scattered Embers, all of those to reunite with all your comrades. And then for Grounds of Sunrise, you would progress up to the end of the reuniting with comrades. So you would do Embers of Return, Gathered Will, Solid Foundation, Reuniting, and then Hope for Ashes would then pop up. And then after you've done all of the reconstruction missions, that's when you would get Homeward and the Return to Home. That would pop up at that point, but it's not going to show up until after you've done all 6 rebuilding missions. Now, A Better Tomorrow is not needed. Initially, it was thought that it was needed for the move to Pailune, but it's definitely not. As you can see, I have 0 out of 5, and I've still got the mission here. So assuming you're at this point, the reconstruction, I left off in our last chapter where I think I was on the 2nd out of 6 one. So I left my PC running all night pretty much and just kept periodically checking it. Got all 6 completed, and it definitely takes a little bit of time there, but it's not too bad. But once you have all 6 completed, you're going to get a pop-up that looks a little something like this. So as soon as that 6th reconstruction mission finishes, that pop-up will happen, and then you'll have a new mission with House Circus that is spawned inside of Hernand. So that is where I'm at right now at this point, and it's the return home. So you can go ahead and mark it. But before you do so, make sure, this is very important, cancel all dispatch missions and also make a backup save just in case. This was very bugged when the game first came out. I'm assuming the later you play this game, the more smooth it'll get. However, why take a chance, right? So mission dispatch, go ahead and make sure that every mission is canceled. Definitely be very thorough. Double check, okay? Make sure all your comrades are able to be dispatched and available. You don't want anyone on a mission. Okay, so all of my comrades are for sure at camp. And it used to bug it out to where basically you would do the mission, it would start the move, and then you wouldn't actually move the camp because somebody was on a mission and it bugged out. So that was what was happening. But yeah, make sure all that. Now at this point we can make a save file just in case anything goes wrong. You've got a save file before you move the camp. And also that save file is very helpful in case you don't want to actually keep your camp at Pailune. We need to do it for the trophy. However, a lot of people don't like the camp at Pailune. They actually prefer it in the Greymane camp because everything's very condensed and close together, you know? So a lot of people don't like the Pailune. So what they do is they move it, get the trophy, and then reload that save file, which is where we're at right now. And then they can just continue on with the camp being right here. So definitely recommend making a save file at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've made my save file, and now our next step is going to be to head to Hernand, obviously, right? That makes sense. So I'll see you guys over there. All right, so from over here, we can head over to Mr. Circus. Speaking of circus, it's a shame the circus has left Hernand now. It's a real shame. I was hoping that, you know, would have been the finale to Hernand. All right, this triggers a cutscene, and afterwards we'll move our camp.
Reclaimed your homeland.
We did. It was a long battle.
Then I surmise you're here to discuss your departure.
Aye. We're just about to head off.
You've done Hernand an invaluable service. I trust you will regard it as your second home and visit us from time to time.
Of course. We're truly in your debt.
Okay, so now that that's done, we can go look around the Howling Hill camp. Wow. Well, let me fix my map real quick. There we go. Head back to camp. All right, we have arrived. Say your goodbyes. We're going to slow walk it. All right, here we go. Pack up everything, guys. We're heading out. We're heading out. Our dragon just flies away. He's like, oh, I'm done. Yeah, screw Yan. Screw Yan, dude. He's never done anything for us. So again, if you don't like this move, if you don't like Pailune, you know, feel free to reload the save file before you move the camp, but at least you'll get the trophy once this is done. So that's all that we really care about. But there are advantages to moving to Pailune, which I'll go over once we get all set up here. I'll show you guys the official tour and what you get out of the camp. But let's first focus on getting there and popping our trophy. We start the long trek across the... Meanwhile, Cliff just fast travels or rides a dragon. Oh, perfect. Yes, putting your horses in the back of a wagon's always a good idea. That's hilarious. All right, proud returnee. We moved our camp back to Pailune there. Trials overcame have paved the way back home. Or overcome. So, yeah, we have one more trophy left, if you guys are wondering. We have literally to finish out the life category of the challenges, and then we have that juicy platinum trophy. So we are very, very close. And our boys here are going to unpack Pailune and all of that. So I'm going to tune in once our cutscene is over, just once they finish unpacking. And I'll show you guys the camp and give you guys the official tour and what you get out of it. You can decide for yourself which one you would rather stay in at this point. But anyways, I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so I'm here in our new camp in Pailune. It's in the northwest corner of the city right here. This is our territory now. And as far as the tour here, everything is the same except it's a little bit more spread out. However, it looks cooler, I suppose. But I'll kind of just run in a circle, show you the general stuff, and then you're welcome to explore it as much as you want. But from our teleporter, whenever we would return back to camp, you would have it right here. So it's right next to our health items. So we got Ronnie right here. Outside of that, our other big vendors would be down here. You've got your blacksmith and, you know, the shops to buy armor, things like that. You've got your ranch over here. So all of that is kind of close to the nexus there, which I enjoy. So that's not too bad, I would say. A lot of the other vendors, you really wouldn't go out of your way to... You're not getting a haircut every time you come back. But Some of the more cosmetic stuff is up here. And then if you go around the corner, we have our house now. And yep, there it is. There's our house. They somehow built a replica here, even down to our statues and everything. So you have your house. It's a little bit better in terms of location, I guess. It's actually in the camp this time. It's not on the other side of the cliff. But yeah, from there, you know, you have more cosmetic stuff like the furniture, the dye shops, and everything over here. So that's why I don't personally really mind this camp, because everything I would ever use is right near, you know, it's all right here, kind of around the nexus. And everything else, I don't really need it that much. But some people prefer to have it there. So you got your wagons and stables. There's actually another stable over here, as well as a saddler. So if you guys want, there's a shop right here that you can grab some other types of saddles. So you'll see there's different types, and then also a bear and ibex saddle, as well as a few other things if you build up trust. But that's pretty cool. And then another stable here if you guys want. But yeah, that's pretty much the unofficial tour here, the quick version. As far as perks that you get for moving to Pailune, your storage gets upgraded quite a bit, your private storage, so you'll have more space for that. And then also your ranch and farming can expand a lot further. Now, you will have to rebuild your farming, you know, your garden there. You would just click on the banner right here, and then you can rebuild bigger and better farming. But you will lose all your plants upon moving. So you'll see right here, farm and the pond construction. The pond is something that's kind of relatively new. Basically, people liked the fact that they could catch fish and then release them, so the developers added the pond feature and all that. So if you're into it, that's something you can do here in camp. But yeah, basically you can you have your farm and ranch already, but you have to expand it if you guys want the upgraded slots and all that. But that's pretty much the advantage here. Plus, it just looks better. Everybody's in a house and all that stuff versus a tent. So it's up to you if you guys want the camp to stay here while you grind out the other side quests or anything else that you guys want to do in this game. And, you know, you'll have a cool camp at least. And plus, you're inside of Pailune, so you have access to everybody else right here, which is kind of nice. So that's that. And I'm going to quickly show you the Greymane stuff. And upon returning to our camp here in Greymane, you will see that Herspy over there is just chilling, but it is just a deserted field now. So it is a good spot for insects, though, I will say, and you could potentially find new stuff. So it's not the worst case scenario, but it is odd to see our little field here back to the way it was all the way back at chapter like 10 or something. So pretty wild. But yeah, if you return, there is nothing left other than insects and birds and grass, and that is that. So it wraps up that. If you guys wanted to bring the camp back, you just reload the save file, and you know, at least you'll have the trophy, and then you can act like we never moved to Pailune. But anyways, that wraps up the move to Pailune section. Now let's get into section 2. So section 2 is all about capturing the aquatic creatures of our world for the challenge to get all the fish, basically. And there's 51 normal ones and then 5 legendary fish, which we've already done the 5 legendary fish at this point. But yeah, I'm going to break it up into sections here. Start with these small freshwater fish, and then I'll move down the list here as we go. But before we get started on how to get all these fish, I want to give you guys a few resources, like what the best fishing rod is. We'll visit all the merchants and so on. That way you have a little bit more tools in your arsenal here to make this challenge a little bit better. But of course, I'm talking about the underwater ecosystem challenge here. We have to get all the different fish. And yeah, that's where we're at. So as far as the best fishing rod, it's the claw. That is the best rod in the game, in my opinion. So it is found here at the Bounty's Nest. We can steal it from somebody. Otherwise, you'd have to go find a hidden merchant and build up trust and buy it, and it would just be a whole thing. I prefer to, I don't know, just rob the guy. So we're going to head down here. There's a little private fishing dock over here that's pretty hard to see unless you know where you're going. So look for this ravine up ahead where the waterfall's heading. There There we go. And the amount of people are going to be random for everybody, but it's this guy that's holding the golden rod. He'll either be standing like this or actually fishing. It doesn't really matter. Just somehow threaten this dude. Go ahead and equip our mask here. So you can either kill him or not, but I'd rather not. I might have to, though. Okay, so if he's not fishing, he'll drop the rod. If he is fishing, you'll probably have to kill this dude or threaten him somehow. But either way, whether you kill him or not, he'll drop the rod, you can grab it, and then just make sure you get outside the circle before you get wanted. Worst case, you could, you know, kill him, get wanted, and then go absolve your sins at the church. And you'll walk away with a nice fishing rod. So anyways, now we have the claw. So with the claw in our inventory, now we can head to all the fish merchants just to gain any knowledge. That way you save a little bit of time in case you guys missed one of the merchants. At least you'll have a few more fish in your knowledge category. And yeah, so I'm going to go over all the different fish merchants. Okay, I'm going to try to move quick here. Our first merchant is over in Veloa, and I'm sure some of you guys have already been here, but just in case, I wanted to show all the different merchants here. From our Nexus. Yeah, some of these merchants, I've been to the area. I just haven't personally unlocked all the different shops and whatnot. But, you know, it's good. Some of these will have no new fish. But, you know, at least at this point you can confirm you've gotten all of the merchant knowledge fish. So you'll see that we just unlocked a couple more here. And making progress. So even if you think you've gotten all the fish, you might want to double check. Also, I would leave the markers on the different spots, at least the piers. You don't have to leave it on the shops themselves, but I would leave it on the pier itself. Like right here, for example, would be the fishing dock. That way, if you guys need to return to a spot in the map, you at least have all of them marked, and you don't have to think about, like, where is Odeck Pier? You know, that you can just jump straight to Odeck Pier, and that might help you a little bit. So as we visit each area, I might want to drop a marker on that spot. And for this one, it was right here on the very edge. So now let's move on, and we're going to head over to the Witch Woods and just go a little bit east. All right, from the Nexus, fly down through the trees. And we'll arrive at this dock here. If I could hop over the table.
There's nothing finer than a
Hello, sir.
by the water.
But yeah, this would get you some of the ones that we're about to be fishing for. So definitely a good idea to visit that one. Let me actually drop a marker on that. And yeah, so now we can head over to, let's go. Yeah, I guess I'll go to the one to the south here. All right, another flight. I'll have to clear out the other dock that is our next stop. It's a hostile place. It's been hostile, I think, the entire game. I don't think I've ever cleared it out, but it'll be very simple. But for now, we can head down this way. And if you haven't already visited this guy, then you can do that.
Would you call yourself an angler?
We actually visited him a long time ago.
I'd be honored to fish with you
But
someday.
you know, that was back in the single-digit chapters. So if you guys haven't been there, which you probably have, then head there. But now I'm gonna head up north, and I'm gonna have to clear out the Rodbell fishing dock. So I'm just gonna edit forward to save a bit of time. I'm just gonna clear out all the people, and then I'll tune in once I've got the merchants and all that unlocked. All right, so I've liberated here. Got all of our people at the docks, happy and fishing.
I'm guessing
Hello,
you're
sir.
happiest with a fishing rod
So
in
yeah,
your
he'll have the
I
same
hope
stuff
you're
here.
welcome here anytime.
But anyways, now we can head onward. So we've been to the 4 here on the bottom of the map, and now we can head over. Let's see. Let's move up to Pailune just to get the left side complete. So I guess I'll do the Odeck pier here, or Odeck dock. So I'm gonna head to that Nexus. All right, heading over this way. Also, there are more docks than what I'm showing. It's just I'm just showing you all the fish merchants in the game. but there are a few extra docks. So once I get to the part where we start fishing, I will update my map and show you guys where I leave my markers, just for the sake of convenience and all that if you're trying to copy. But for right now, I just want to unlock all the different shops for you guys. So there we go. We got a few extra there. Making good progress on the small freshwater fish. I should be at, I think, like 9 or 10 out of 13. So just off of the missions and the vendors, we're pretty much done. I mean, you can see right here. Yeah, we've only got 3 more of the small freshwater. So, I mean, you guys know I have not fished at all in this game other than what's required. So it's pretty nice. You can definitely save a bit of time doing this. All right, so now we're going to head into downtown Pailune, or as I like to call it now, home. We are officially a Pailunese resident. All right, so this guy's over here on the dock, of course. Oh, almost killed this dude. What's up, sir? All right, get his stuff unlocked. And that wraps up the left side of the map. So you have the 2 in Pailune up there, the 4 in Hernand. And now we can head over. Let's see, we have the one at Silver Moon. You might not have been there, but I'll show it anyways. I've definitely been to this one, but just in case. All right, this guy is a saltwater vendor here. A very good vendor, actually. If you haven't clicked on him already, you should get a few knowledge here.
There's nothing finer than a quiet.
So yeah, he's got a number of the sea, or I guess like saltwater sea life. And now we can head up to, let's see, let's go Varnia next. So we've already been here. If you guys remember, we got the Northern Pike a couple times actually here. But for anyone that's tuning in just for this specific challenge, I'll show you guys all the merchants here. But I know that if you follow this walkthrough, we've definitely gotten this guy. Okay, this guy's all the way down at the water's edge. Open 24/7. This guy is a master fisher here. What's up, bird? All right, here's this guy right here. Hello, good friend.
There's nothing finer than a quiet day.
So there you go. And now we can head over to Delizia. And I'm going to start, I guess we'll just go top to bottom here. So I'm going to head to our Nexus right there. There's 3 in Delizia. And then that'll be the last 3. Alright, it's not too far away. Not for us, at least. Oh, look, here comes the train. Gonna have a real Stand By Me moment. Or I can miss the tracks entirely. Alright, let's not get distracted. That's part of another section of the video. We got the extracurriculars. Try to reserve fun for later. Right now, we're grinding bugs and fish. Also, if I can help it, I'm going to try to get it to where the platinum comes down to a butterfly. Because, like, how funny is that? That the whole journey ends with me just picking up a butterfly. And then just platinum trophy pops. I don't know. I think it's funny. So anyways, grab that guy. And now we can head into... I guess I'll do this one first, and then we'll do downtown Delizia last. But head over to our Nexus. Now, this person you probably don't have at this point, unless you've really been exploring outside of wherever I've been. But I've basically never really gone over here too much. Oh, was that a new insect? No. Okay. Gotta keep our eyes peeled. Gotta keep our eyes peeled. More than ever now. Yeah, I don't think I've spoken to any of these merchants over here. All right, so there's this little tiny pond right here, and we're looking for this vendor in gold.
There's nothing finer than a quiet day by the water.
So
Every
there you go. There's
if you
another
land the
vendor,
real prize, make sure you come
and
show
a nice quaint little pond. And now we can head over to downtown and head to the docks over there. All right, so we're heading down to the shipyard. I know a lot of these are repetitive items, but it's good to have them on your map just in case. And some people might have different vendors than others. But, you know, some of these are definitely going to have the same kind of fish. But it's all good.
I need to make some raspberry jam.
All right, so right here is our final vendor.
I hope my selection suits you.
There we go. Got a mackerel. Let's
I
go.
hope my if you land
So
the real
after
prize, make sure
everything, you know, I have done 0 fishing outside of what is required for the faction quest lines, and I might maybe have picked up a fish or two just from swimming around, but I don't believe I've done too much extra fishing here in this game, and it's all been recorded, so pretty much no extra time spent on fishing. I really didn't want to do that, but here we are. After everything that, you know, we've done at this point in the game, you can see that I'm at 10 out of 13. And don't worry, I'm going to show you guys where to get every fish. That way, in case we are in different spots, we have different fish, or we've had different RNG. I'm going to show you guys where to fish and get those different ones. So now that you've visited all the vendors, now it's up to you to fish. And you have the best fishing rod in the game, so it should be a little bit easier. Of course, you can swim. Not all of the fish are going to unlock via fishing. Some of them are very specific, so definitely going to go over all that. So I'm going to start with these first 13 here and go over where to fish and which docks, and I'm going to show you guys the map. That way, if you want to ping up all the different piers, it'll be a little bit easier to bounce around if you guys want to change the scenery or anything like that. Just so you guys have a reference, I've pinged up all of the different vendors here. So we have just a handful. If you guys want to copy my map so you have all the different docks pinged, we have let's see, what is this one called again? It's like the Rod Bell. Yeah, Rod Bell Fishing Dock right here in Hernand. We have the Gray Rock Dock right here. And then we have the Skoghorn over here. And then we have Odeck up at the top right there. And those are your main fishing docks. But if you guys want extra, then there is one. Yeah, I guess where we're at right here, actually. Never mind. At the Horseshoe Lake Perch, you can go ahead and ping that as well. And then that's pretty much all the docks that you're going to need for now. But yeah, anyways, going down the list. So the first one's going to be Skoghorn or Odeck, if you guys are looking to fish there. The second one, Small Minnow, is going to be the same. Small Spurlin, the same, except it's Skoghorn and Gray Rock instead of Skoghorn and Odeck. So those are your two. The Gudgeon here is at Rod Bell Fishing. The small Resbora is also at Rod Bell. And then the Pond Loach is going to be at Rod Bell as well. So, and then we have the Rice Fish, which is going to be Gray Rock or the Odeck Pier. A Bass is going to be at Rod Bell. And then a Perch is going to be at Horseshoe Lake, where I'm at right now. The Tench is going to be at Rod Bell, and the Leopard Perch is going to be at Gray Rock Dock. So those are the different spots you can most likely find the fish. Of course, you can probably find some of these fish like randomly somewhere, but in terms of the most likely spawns, those are the spots. So now I'm going to assume that you guys will either fish it or you already have this, and I'm going to show you guys where to get the last two fish for small freshwater fish. Another piece of advice for the fishing is to have passive dispatch missions going while you're actually farming up all the fish. So in the Pailune camp, you guys obviously know where Ross is when the Greymane camp, but in Pailune, now that we've moved our camp, if you guys don't know where Ross is, he's right here. And so, yeah, while you're going ahead and fishing all the different areas, you can be running these dispatch missions for a chance at getting new fish that you don't already have. So you can just like look through the menu here and just put different people on different fishing missions here. At the Rod Bell Fishing Dock, like all the different docks, right? You can go Veloa, and there is a chance that you'll get different fish. And so if you have those passively running in the background, you know, you might get one or two that you didn't have, and then you wouldn't have to fish for them. So it's worth doing if you guys wanted to do that. But anyways, let's get into it. For the piranha and other lore as well, sometimes you'll get the medium fish or the saltwater fish. Also, mechanical things like the hot air balloon or insects. Things like that can happen in this village as well for lore. Now, it used to be for piranha that you could scan it with the Helm of Knowledge, but it was kind of a glitch in a way. But they've patched that since recent updates. So now this is our next best thing here. And there's NPCs in this village that are going to have white dots on the minimap. Those specific NPCs, if you talk to them, you'll get knowledge given to you. Now, most of it you're probably already going to have, but the women of the village, if you get one of them to have a white dot, they should likely give you the piranha knowledge as well. So it's in the Dewhaven logging camp over here on the western side of Delesia. And you can either spawn at the Abyss Crescent or the Nexus and just run through the village. And if you don't get the right NPC, just reset and try again. It's best to do this during the daytime when the actual NPCs are out. I would say anytime, before 7 p.m. But I'll show you guys the lap, and then you'll have to just keep doing it until you get the right RNG to get this. And so I'm just going to show you the route that I'm running. Again, I'm looking for a white dot on the minimap. Sometimes there's going to be 3 or 4. Sometimes there's just 1. I usually always get at least 1, though. And ideally, we are looking for the women for the piranha. You see how we have a couple up ahead? And you'll get the talk option.
You'll find delicious black sea breed near here.
Okay, there we go.
The
That's
taste of it,
one of the
yes, I see.
fish. I already had it, but if you didn't, that's a way to do it.
Ever seen those loaf cats wandering the village?
See how I'm getting different lore, and just exhaust their dialogue for each person, and you might get lucky.
Ever seen those loaf cats
Okay,
wandering the
now
village?
he's repeating.
Fat ones are always cuter than the scrawny runs, I say.
Okay, sir, let me leave. Okay, now we'll head over here. Sir?
There's some. Ever seen those loaf cats wandering
No,
the village?
your friend just said that,
Fat
sir.
ones are always cuter than the scrawny runs, I say.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, they both are on the same page at least. I do a lap over here, just kind of make the full circle. You can cut it a little close here. You don't have to go all the way around the circle, just enough to see the mini map. See if anybody on here has the white dot. Doesn't look like we have any more people. The women of the tribe are usually going to be up here on the left side up here. Looks like we have one person over here. Maybe we'll get lucky.
It's a fair-looking bloom, but poisonous. Best keep children.
Nope, let me... Oh my god, this big troll's in the way. Alright, what do you got for
Pansies
us?
are fair to see, but they carry poison.
Yeah, it's always worth talking to these people, just in case you get lore you don't have.
It just reeks of trouble. They say people are used for experiments at that place.
Uh-huh.
Pansies are fair
Okay,
to see,
so now we're
but they
repeating.
carry poison.
But yeah, in my experience, usually the ladies that have the piranha are going to be up here in this area, the village up here, and or like right over here. So after you've done your little lap here and you don't have any new people, then you just have to reset. So I'm just going to head back and we can fly back down. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get the correct NPC, and I'll let you guys know, where I found it and all that stuff.
Piranha, near the trading post.
Okay, I got the piranha. You
They
probably
say
saw it
they'll
pop up right
lunge at
there.
anyone who even comes near. Plain terrifying.
Oh no. Yeah, so we got piranha right there. I'm on my 3rd reset, I believe. It didn't take very long actually, but we'll talk to her again.
Truth be told, I wasn't much different. Friggin'
So
these
she
hair
talks
styles
about, or at least
Something
this
out of
line of
Game of Thrones.
dialogue. It'll be random for you, but I got sparrows. I got the king's lunch. Make sure you talk to especially the
Did you
women
know
for
fruit
piranha.
tastes
Make sure you
great on
talk
the
to them
grill?
like a bunch, because sometimes they'll
Some
say the
places even
same
have a
3 or
dish
4
called
things,
grilled
and then all of a sudden you'll get
fruits.
a 5th dialogue line. So the women NPCs are very rare in this town. So whenever you get them, definitely exhaust their
Did you
dialogue.
know fruit tastes great on the grill?
But anyways, you'll see that I definitely
Some
got
places
the
even have a
piranha.
dish called
I tried to
grilled
start the
fruits.
recording because I didn't think I was going to get it on that lady. But anyways, I would suggest doing this around mid-afternoon. I had the best results. It usually is around like 2 or 3 that I've gotten this dialogue, so definitely recommend that time. And then also, whenever you do the lap, before you teleport, I would start here, do your lap, and then come back and always double check this area, because sometimes they'll spawn in after you've already ran through. And so make sure you definitely double check this area and over by the houses and all that, just to make sure there's no more new NPCs. Our last small freshwater fish is the Crucian carp. This is going to be spawning in a couple spots more likely. It's in deep water usually. So the first option is over here. You can spawn at this abyss crescent and then fly through the valley down to the Claggy Chasm, and there is a small body of water right here. We actually came over here for one of these secret waterfalls. So if you haven't grabbed that, you can grab that there. And you can either fish this, or sometimes you'll see a fish in the water. I know it's very shallow, but don't let that deter you from getting the fish. So yeah, you can use your fishing rod and just fish for the Crucian carp. I've also had bass and stuff like that spawn here as well. So if you don't see any fish, that's fine. Oh, looks like we had one right there. Yeah, no. All right, well, it's no worries. So if you want to spend some time fishing that, you can. And then I'll give you another option as well that you might prefer, actually, on the other end of the map. So the reports I've seen the most people catching them is in this body of water. So I would say the cutoff is around like right here. So from this all the way up to about right here is a good version of or water to fish in. So you should be able to swim and or fish and just look around for the Crucian carp. It's our last fish. And so I'm going to head over to our abyss crescent. I'll show you guys that process. All right, so first, obviously, we can swim out there and try to catch it. It does prefer deep water, so you might not be able to physically catch it easily. But of course, we have our claw fishing rod, which I'll show you how to use that, because I don't think I've actually gone over that one yet. But you can swim around here and just hope for the best. You know, we're going to have to just wait and see. But I'm going to come over here near this rock right here. All right, and then you can kind of just wade around in this small area right here, the shady spot. And you would want to do this for, you know, any fish, really. Obviously, catching them by hand is faster than fishing for it. But given the fact that, you know, this fish specifically does like deep water, I'm most likely going to have to... Oh, there's the yellow bass. The yellow bass and the bass count as the same fish. But yeah, you saw a fish pop up. So now that you have seen the fish spawn there, I'll go ahead and show you guys how to use this fishing rod. Okay, I'm in my spot here. I'm just standing on top of the rock right here in the middle of the water. And again, you can fish anywhere in this general area if you guys want. But this is a good spot. So whenever we want to cast our line, go ahead and throw it out there in the deep waters. And the claw allows us to auto-reel our fish in, so it's a little less stressful on the reeling. So instead of spinning your joystick or whatever, but I think it's spacebar for PC, but you'll just hit X and you just hold it down and it'll auto-reel. And then let go of that if it starts to vibrate the line. So the larger the fish... All right, here we go. We got one. So you'll have to do like normal, where you fight the fish, go in the opposite direction. It's a good rod, too. It's not just like the basic one, but once it's kind of tired out like that, we can just hold down X, and then as soon as I feel it start to resist again, I can then fight it. But it saves us from having to do that spinning thing and all that. Oh, we got a live one. Hopefully it's the Crucian carp. That'd be sick. All right, now I'm just holding down X until I get the slack in the line gone. Might not have to. Oh, a yellow bass. Cool. So yeah, you're going to rinse and repeat this until you get a Crucian carp. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward, and I'll just show you guys me catching that. All right, your boy caught a Crucian carp, 37 centimeters. It's a new personal best. It's also my only fish I've caught that's a Crucian carp, but it is a personal best at that. And I'm gonna go ahead and catch that. And just so you guys know, I casted, it's not going to matter. Obviously, you can cast wherever, but if you guys want a copy, I casted like right around there and got it. It took about 10 fish before I got it, and I was getting tench, a lot of yellow bass, and then eventually I had one regular carp, and then I had a crucian carp. So there you go. Just keep fishing. I promise you'll get it eventually. Sometimes you'll get it right away. Sometimes it might take a little bit. But either way, it's a lot easier with the claw fishing line, in my opinion, because you can reel it in and it's not going to break as easily. So good luck with all that. And once you've achieved the crucian carp, you should be at completion for the small freshwater fish. So we have 13 out of 13, and now we can move on to the medium freshwater fish. And you might have already picked up a handful of these from fishing in this exact spot, like I got the carp and all that. But anyways, I'm going to go over how to get all 10 of those in just a moment. Okay, for the medium fish, we're already halfway there via the vendors. We've just spoken to all the fish vendors, and you should have these 5 at least. But just in case, the Northern Pike was part of several faction missions, as well as you can get it at Odek or Skoghorn. The carp is found where we found the Crucian carp. You can fish for it there, and or you can find it in Skull Cove in the top of Pailune at the place up there. And then the Linnock is in Odek. And then the Burbot is going to be at Grey Rock Dock, or you can find it at the Horseshoe Lake Perch. And then Salt Edge Perch is at Silver Moon Trade House at those that area. So you should have all of these already just from the merchants themselves. And so if you guys don't, that's where you find them. Now let's move on to the other 5. And so our first 2 fish on the list are going to be salmon and the sockeye salmon. And that is found right here. So this is going to be on this spot of the map. And it's connected to the ocean here. And so we want to fish right here in this general area. And just throw it out there in the middle. I'll show the first one and then I'll edit forward. But you can find the paddlefish. Oh, hello. That was an immediate hook. You can get the salmon, the sockeye salmon, the paddlefish, and some other stuff as well. But we're after the salmon and the sockeye salmon at the very least. A salmon, let's go. There we go. So we're going to do that for the salmon, of course, and then also the sockeye salmon. And if you're lucky, you'll get the paddlefish as well. But not to worry about that right this second. But anyways, going to catch that. And now I'll keep fishing, and I'll cut forward once I get the sockeye salmon. All right, I have caught the sockeye salmon here, and it's a mighty pretty fish here. And I wanted to show the other locations. Honestly, this entire area works in terms of where to find the fish. So this, from where I'm standing at the Abyss Crescent, is a good spot for a lot of different fish. And so you can go there if you guys want to change up scenery. But anywhere in this channel of water, the cutoff is going to be right here. And then all the way south, and then all this water up to about where I showed you guys in our last clip, where we fished right there is kind of the other cutoff. And then all the way south, and then where I'm standing is kind of the cutoff as well. So you're going to be able to catch quite a bit of stuff. And as far as the fish spawns, the sockeye salmon is one of the most rare. The loggerhead sea turtle is pretty rare, and there's a saw perch as well. It's pretty rare, but the sockeye salmon has like a 5% chance of being caught. So as far as catching everything, once you've gone through the typical fish, what I would suggest is standing wherever you're going to fish at, and then throwing your rod kind of like right in front of you. That way you can see what's going to catch, right? And then if you're trying to catch the sockeye salmon, it's a super bright red with a yellowish green head on the fish, so it's very obvious which one it is. Don't get it confused with the red sea bream. It's much more red and much more vibrant than that one. So once you see what's biting, you can usually see what fish is hitting your line. If you don't get the sockeye salmon, just cancel. And unless it's something like super rare, of course, pull it in. But you'll start to memorize which fish look like what fish. And so just have some patience. It took me about, I would say, 20 castings out there in order to get the sockeye salmon. So whenever you catch the salmon and the sockeye salmon, now we can move on to our next fish. Okay, our next fish on the list is a trout, and this has a pretty high success rate right here. You want to fish in this general region right here. There's a waterfall sort of thing right here, so anything above the waterfall. So from Shadow's Slope, the Smuggler's Dock, all the way over to the left, kind of this body of water is where you have a 24%, I think it's 24% chance at a trout. So pretty good odds there, a lot better than 5% for the sockeye salmon. And yeah, just you can pick wherever your favorite spot is. You know, have fun picking it out wherever you feel comfortable or want to gaze at for a little bit of time. I'm gonna do this first try, no worries. It's just I'm just built different, you know. First try. Here we go. Yeah, I've been enjoying this process actually. I know it's super tedious to get all the insects and fish and all that, but I've got the Lord of the Rings audiobook. I'm just vibing over here, just catching fish, going on a little fishing expedition here. That's a trout. Let's just pretend like that's a trout. Now I'm gonna fast forward until we get a real trout. Okay, now I have caught a trout, and I just went swimming for it. I was just curious if I could get it easier that way, and I just swam across this channel right here, and it popped up right away. So that's something you can try. And as far as fishing, I was getting pretty solid hits over by where I showed you guys initially. And then when I swam over here, I mean, this would also be a good spot here. I would aim away from the dock, just out into the open here for a trout. They do prefer the deeper water. But yeah, if you want to swim around, you can definitely try to do that as well. So either way, you should definitely have a pretty good chance at getting a trout right here. And once you're ready, now we can move on. We have the catfish and the eel is our last two. So there we go. We have trout, and you should have 8 out of 10 at least if you're following along. And our next one being the catfish is pretty easy to actually get. It has a very high success rate at this area. So as you can see, I just caught one right here, and I'll show you guys where I'm at. So this one is right over here inside the desert in this little oasis area right there. It has a almost 40% chance at catching it. It's the highest in the map as far as I am aware. Other places include over here has like a 10% chance. Near the ruins, the Berseda temple ruins, you can fish right there for it. Also, you know, some of these other oases have a chance, but this spot, for whatever reason, right where I'm standing, I'm right here if you guys want to look around. But I caught it on my very first cast. It has a very high success rate, and there's not much competition. You can also kind of walk around, but I found fishing to be a little bit more reliable. But it's like a foot deep, so it's, you know, there's not many fish that live here. So a very good spot for the catfish. And now we just have our very last medium one, which is the freshwater eels. So let's move on to that one. Okay, and the last one is the freshwater eel, and it's located in the Horseshoe area where we have that one dock, the Horseshoe Lake Perch, and it's going to be in this part of the water. Just anything north of the dock is pretty good for it. Now, it doesn't have a very high success rate. It's one of the rare fish in this game. So it has about a 7% chance, give or take. And just sit here in this area. And I'm right here on top of the rocks. It's the one that's like furthest out, just because I don't want my line to get caught on any of the other rocks. But yeah, I'm just going to aim kind of towards the waterfall out in the open here and hope for the best. And there's about 5 different fish you can catch here. And the freshwater eel is the lower chance one. So everything else has an equal chance, like 25%, give or take. And then there's that freshwater eel for 7%. So you're going to have a little bit of patience here. And I'll edit forward until I catch ourselves an eel. To have the confidence of my guy right here, I just wanted to quickly show this hero riding right through my fishing spot. Okay, freshwater eel has been acquired. This one is a much more aggressive fish than the other one. So if you see your line just get absolutely attacked and it's a much harder fight, you'll know that you have the freshwater eel on your line. And plus, it doesn't look like a fish. So what I did was I just casted it about as far out as I could, really. But as soon as I knew that I had a fish, I would just cancel it. That way I can save some time there. But yeah, eventually you'll just see it looks like a great white shark attacks your line. It's like a much bigger splash. And you'll notice it's a lot more aggressive. So that is the last one. And, you know, again, I'm right here in this general area. And yeah, as far as the knowledge goes, we are making progress on that. We've done the medium freshwater and the small freshwater. So now let's move on to the large freshwater. Okay, the electric eel is our next fish here. And it's going to be inside of the Witch's Lake here in Pailune. That's our best opportunity for the electric eel. If you're not catching it there and you want a change of scenery, there is a chance you can get it over here as well. It is a little bit of a lower chance, but not by much. I think it's like 8% versus 10%. But our best odds are going to be over here at the witch's house. It's not the best odds, but it's the best we got. So anywhere in this lake should be fine. So pick your favorite spot and then cast a line and hope for the best here. So Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward until I catch the electric eel. Okay, after about 15 minutes or so, I got the electric eel. This is going to be probably the toughest fight you've had on a fish so far. And it's a pretty massive little eel there, and it's electric. So there you go. But anyways, yeah, I took about, I caught about 15 different northern pike, and then I finally decided to cast over to the left over here. And first cast out there, I was able to catch the monstrosity of the electric eel, but it'll take a while to reel in. And with the large fish, it'll be strapped to our back, and the way to get that cleared up is to sell it. It's just too big to fit in our pocket, so we have to sell it at a fish vendor, which I showed you guys at the start of our section here. So go ahead and sell it, and you should see the whatever fish it was pop up on the left here, and we can go ahead and sell it for 34 silver. So there we go. And now no more fish on our back. So if you're wondering why you can't fish or anything like that, that's why. The large fish are a little bit of a burden for Cliff, apparently. I can fit like 7,000 items in my pocket, but the second we catch a large fish, it's too much for his pockets. So you do have to sell it. And I'm over here at, it doesn't matter which fish vendor, just go to a fish vendor. And now I can head over to our mark. Okay, I'm over here at Claggy Chasm. And I'm right here in the water, so we're just going to start fishing. Keep in mind, this fish has one of the lowest spawn rates that we've had so far. It has like a 3 or 4% chance at spawning. And as far as the total amount of fish, there's about 5 that are common here. And so the giant pond loach is the one that we're after. And it has a pretty low chance here. So just good luck, put on some music or something, and chill. And so I will fast forward until I get our giant pond loach. All right, so on my second cast, I got the giant pond loach. Very lucky there. And so I'm going to go ahead and catch this. And I was standing right here on this big rock, cast right into the waterfall, and boom, giant pond loach. So hopefully your RNG is good. And as far as the knowledge goes, we have finished up the freshwater creatures here. So I'll show the menu here just so you can double check. We got the small freshwater. Then we had the medium. There's that list. And then as far as the large freshwater, we had the electric eel and giant pond loach. So it looks kind of like a catfish, but without the width of it. It's like a skinny catfish almost. But anyways, now we can move on to the saltwater fish. So I will set up for that. And for the small saltwater fish, we have the mackerel, the 3-line grunt, and then of course the red tongue sole, which is the one that I don't have. I've gotten these through vendors and or just random fishing at this point. I will show you guys where to catch all of these just in case you don't have the same ones as me. So here at Veloa is going to be where we get the red tongue sole as well as the 3-line grunt. That is going to be those 2 fish right there. And then for the other one, the mackerel, you want to head all the way over to Delesia. And just somewhere off the dock here on the coast of Delesian downtown, just somewhere over in this region right here is your best chance for a mackerel. But you probably have it from the vendors and or just catching them randomly. But I'm over here. I'm trying to get the red tongue sole. So I'm set up right here on the rock, kind of facing the pirate ship looking thing over here. And just anywhere in this general region, I'm going to start casting and hope for the best. So we'll see how it goes. And I will see you when I catch it. Okay, the red tongue sole is now mine. It took about 15 minutes. I kept getting the same fish over and over, so it took a little bit of a time, but it wasn't too bad. I just kept changing up where I casted, and eventually I got the red tongue sole. So there we go. We have all 3, and if you guys need to, you can go fish for the mackerel where I showed you over by downtown Delesia. But over here where I'm at, you can get the 3-line grunt and the red tongue sole. So now we're done with small saltwater fish, and at this point we also have all the medium saltwater fish. But just in case you guys don't have this, I'll show you guys where the best spots are to fish. So give me a moment, I'll ping up the map for those. All right, so for the blackhead sea bream and the opal eye, that's going to be, your best bet is going to be over by downtown Delesia where that mackerel is. So again, over here on these waters right here. And then for the next one, which is going to be the barred knife jaw, that's where we're at. You've probably caught about 100 of these at this point, given the salmon fishing and the one we just got. So I'm assuming you probably already have that one. But if not, it's where we're at right now at the south of Veloa. And then the red sea bream is going to be, it can be caught where we're at, but the better option is going to be around here. So around that Abyss Crescent, you're going to have a better chance. So it goes from like a 15% chance to like a 20 something, 25-ish% chance if you move just in the middle here. So it just depends on how you want to do it. So anywhere like right around this Abyss Crescent should be fine. And yeah, that's the 4 fish there. So now let's move on to our next category, which is going to be the large saltwater fish. All right, everybody. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath. The large saltwater fish are the most difficult fish, and I would say thing in the game. It is very challenging. It's definitely the thing that sucks the most about fishing. So we have the 8 fish here, and this is the anglerfish, the shark, the crimson opali. The shark is probably one of the hardest things to get. Then we have the giant red sea bream. We have the paddlefish, the sailfish, which you might remember from that moment where the player got the sailfish stuck on his back permanently and he couldn't use anything. If you guys follow the Crimson Desert Twitter account, they tweeted out this one player. But anyways, the sailfish is a thing, and the striped marlin, and then the sturgeon. Those are the 8 different large saltwater fish. Now, they're not easy to catch. And there is a number of ways to go about this. You can either fish for them. You can take a rowboat out into the water. You can go and talk to the NPCs around the map. So I'm just going to break it down one fish at a time. That way it's a little bit easier to process. Keep in mind, this challenge is not meant to be done back to back to back to back to back. Like I think I've been at this for about 9 hours or so since the start of this video, just trying to record what we've done up until this point. So, obviously you're supposed to do this in sessions here and kind of enjoy the world as you just slowly chip away at the fish. But if you guys are like me and you're just trying to get platinum, then, just maybe take a break and then come back to the large fish. But I'm over here. I want to show you guys where I'm fishing at for the anglerfish. Now, outside of that, you can also do the thing, you know how we did in the Dewhaven logging camp over here when we spoke to the NPCs. You can go there for the different stuff. There's a couple there. But for the anglerfish, the best chance for lore knowledge would be over here at the Dawn Reach. So you have an Abyss Crescent right there, which makes things a little bit easier resetting the world. But there's NPCs in there, and you should be able to talk to somebody and get an anglerfish knowledge there if you guys want to go about it that way. Otherwise, you can head over to this Abyss Crescent, and I'll show you guys the spot that we can fish. So it'll be at the bottom of this waterfall here. There's a little cove, a little hidden cove here. It's going to fall all the way down. And right here. So inside of this cove is going to be a spot that you can catch the anglerfish. So good luck. It has, I think, a 9% chance. So it's not that bad. It's definitely not as bad as some of the fish we've caught, but it's not easy either. But good luck. This is a good spot for it. And it will put up a bigger fight than the average fish. So, you'll notice you have it whenever you have I guess a bigger fight on your line. But I will tune in once I catch the anglerfish. Okay, so that one didn't take very long at all. It was about 5 or 6 casts out there. And, it's very easy to see what you're catching right here. And so as soon as I didn't see the anglerfish, I just canceled it. And it only took a few minutes, actually. So it's a very likely fish to spawn right here. It's very rare otherwise. But go ahead and catch the anglerfish. When it's in the water, it's going to look like a brown, just fat, ugly fish. It's not if you see the red one, that's not the correct one. It's going to look brownish. So it's also good to come at the daytime. And if it starts raining like it is here, you can always just fast travel and then it'll reset the weather usually. And or, like I said, you can go to Dawn Reach and talk to the NPCs. But personally, I think the rate, it's like a 10% chance or something over here. I think it's not that bad. I'd rather do this than have to go talk to the NPCs a whole bunch. Now we have 7 more. Let's move on to the Broadnose 7-gilled shark. Okay, so we're going after the shark now, and maybe also the paddlefish if you are lucky. But as far as the shark's actual fishing spot, it's going to be off the coast of Marnie's drilling rig. Now, it has a 1% chance at catching it, so it's not the easiest fish. It's definitely the most rarest fish in the game. But if you guys want, you can fish off the coast here of Marnie's oil rig, and you have a very, very low chance at catching the shark. It's also a difficult fish to reel in, as you guys would probably imagine. Or you can go to the Dewhaven, what is it? Dewhaven logging camp over here, and there is a chance that you'll get one of the NPCs to talk about a shark. There's also a chance you'll have an NPC talk about a paddlefish. Now, because both of those fish are in Dewhaven logging, I'm going to go ahead and show the paddlefish location as well. Now, off the coast, if you guys remember where I first showed you guys how to catch salmon and the sockeye salmon, right here, there is a chance at catching a paddlefish. Actually, before I hit record, I had caught a paddlefish, but I actually messed up and I lost it on the line. So it is very possible. I definitely know it's not the easiest fish to catch, but it is possible right here in this area as well. But yeah, your best bet's to reload the area and just talk to NPCs, and make sure your subtitles are on, by the way. Otherwise, it might not count if you don't have the subtitles active. But I'm gonna head over here, and now that you guys know the fishing spots for the paddlefish and the shark, I'm gonna do it with the NPCs. And by the way, the shark is gonna be the troll NPCs. It's gonna be, yeah, that's the only one that has the shark one, and then the paddlefish is gonna be just a random dude, like a human guy. It is a troll. That's good.
We're leaving earlier than planned.
Now, your friend already told me that.
Prepared in a rush, yes, but I did not lower the quality.
Okay.
Promise kept today becomes tomorrow's trade. Word is,
Hey, we got the shark. Let's go. First run. That's pretty cool. That's like a, I guess finally something worked out for me. Broadnose 7-gill shark is now ours, the hardest fish to catch. So there's that. And again, if you guys are able to spot a human, a guy, like just a regular dude, like the ladies had the other knowledge we were seeking, but the trolls have the shark, and then the regular random dudes are going to have the peddler fish, and or you're welcome to catch it over where I showed you guys. So I'm going to reset this area. You can see on the right there, I popped the paddlefish knowledge, but hopefully,
Ever heard of the
yeah, here we go.
strange fish in the Bay of Abundance?
No.
Paddlefish, they call it.
Yep, there we go.
Snout as long and flat as its body. Incredible, eh?
All right, so there's that, and so now we have the paddlefish and the shark. Good on us. It only took literally 2 attempts. I got the shark on my first one, reset the world, came back, and got our boy here to talk about the paddlefish. So very, very good there. And, you know, it's 11:57. I think I started this at 11 a.m. in the world. If that's something you want to copy, it might be best to, you know, replicate my time there in the world itself. But yeah, there we go. Now we can move on to our next large fish. Okay, on to the next one, which is the crimson opal eye. This is a pretty rare fish. It's not as hard as the shark, but it's still pretty rare. You can catch it right here, more likely, or you can head to Velua, and there is a small chance you can get it there, but why would you go to the more difficult spot when you can head over here? So go from our Abyss Crescent, jump off the waterfall, and you'll land over here. So I just jumped off the waterfall, come to these rocks right here, and then you can cast your line kind of towards the waterfall, just anywhere in this general area. And this is going to be a reddish looking opal eye. It has like red spots on it, kind of. But yeah, it's got like a 4% chance, I believe, off the top of my head. So yeah, it might take you about 15 or 20 attempts at like worst case, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see. Captain's log, day 138. Yeah, it's been a lot of hours since I last tuned in with you guys. I have casted well over 100, maybe even more than that, with the fishing line here. It is now 6 a.m. I think I started this when it was like 3 a.m. Anyways, Crimson Opal Eye, we did it, yay! And just to be clear, the Crimson Opal Eye can be caught anywhere by the waterfall and then kind of around the land structure right here. And I wouldn't go beyond right about here with this little triangle spot. Just anywhere between here and the waterfall should be fine for the Crimson Opal Eye. And, you know, there's that. So now let's move on. We have currently 4 out of the 8 large saltwater fish. So I'm going to go ahead and reset here for our next fish. Okay, I'm after the giant red sea bream, which is our next creature. It can be found off the coast of the Marnie oil rig, just like the shark. It's got a very low chance at catching the fish. However, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to do about it with the lure here, and I'm spawning at this Abyss Crescent, and we're going to head down to that village that you see right there. And there's a very specific NPC. It's not going to be guaranteed that he's going to have the white dot on the map, but as soon as he does, then you'll know that you probably are going to get that lore. He is one of the merchants in this area, and he's always going to be on this right side if he's active. So it's best just to head here. And if you guys want, the first few times you come over here, you can talk to all the white dots and then see if you can get any additional lore that you don't have. But once you have kind of exhausted that dialogue, you can quite literally just spawn, check it, and then leave and come back. But it's this guy right here, the apothecary. So he has to have the white dot here, and he will tell you about the giant red sea bream once you exhaust his dialogue. So you know, make sure you talk to him, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip forward until I get the white dot. But just to show you guys some of the other stuff, there's guys here. Sometimes you'll get the people over here. Sometimes it'll be in the merchants over on the left side where I've got mine, and then more commonly you're gonna have it spawn up there somewhere in that building. But yeah, feel free to go around and talk to all the different people if you guys want. And yeah, now I'm gonna fast forward till I get the apothecary guy for the giant red sea bream.
Pig every day.
All right, we got it, the giant red sea bream. So just one of these NPCs, one of the guys here will have the giant red sea bream information. Just keep exhausting dialogue, and his opening line was something about pine mushroom tea, and then that led to the giant sea bream. So it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be a specific person. It just has to be a guy over here. And I'm over at the Delesian port. So in literally 30 seconds, I had the striped marlin and the giant red sea bream back to back. So it didn't take very long, to be honest. And I think that this little spot right here, you'll see that now we have the striped marlin and the giant red sea bream. Of course, I'll go over the striped marlin in a moment here on like where to catch it. But this is where you can get some knowledge for it. Now, as far as the giant red sea bream, I want to go over a couple spots, because I left off at the Rustward or Rustfield scrapyard with the apothecary. So you can definitely talk to him. I was having really bad luck, so I decided to pop over to the port of Delesia. I had a much better chance with that. So you might want to try both if you guys are struggling to get the apothecary. But they both have a pretty high success rate if you find those NPCs. There is another chance you can get it to spawn over at the logging, the Dewhaven logging, which seems to have every possible knowledge at this point. But there is a chance you can get one of the men there to talk about the giant red sea bream as well. So those are the 3 spots I know that can give you the lore. Outside of that, you'd have to fish for it outside of the Marnie drilling rig. But yeah, either way, I think it's better to do the NPC knowledge. And as far as Port Delesia, I was over here at like 7:30 p.m. at the daytime, and now it's about 8:25. So I don't think time really matters all that much, but just, you know, keep loading. And I was heading from our Nexus right here. You just jump up and over the wall, and you can just fly right down. Very quick and easy. But anyways, let's move on to the striped marlin and where you can fish for it and all of that. Okay, I'm at the Delesian port, and I'm over here on the map. This is a very good area for the large saltwater fish knowledge. So a lot of people here usually spawn for the NPCs, and this guy right here can tell you about the striped marlin. So very good fish to get out of the way. And you'll see that on our knowledge, we've got the striped marlin right here, large saltwater fish. Okay, for the striped marlin, we're actually kind of near where we need to be. So as far as the map goes, anywhere around this area is going to have a okay chance. It's not a great chance. It's like a 5 or 6% chance. And or you can take a rowboat or something out into the water here and have about a 10% chance at a striped marlin. However, I think the knowledge from the NPCs is the easier method. But if you guys get frustrated with that, feel free to drop a line anywhere near the Delesian port, and you should be able to get a striped marlin there. But yeah, outside of that, it's just the NPCs and all that. But anyways, let's move on to our next fish, which is going to be the sailfish. Okay, the last two fish are the sailfish and the sturgeon. Both are deep water fish here, and they have a similar process. So I'm going to go over the NPC knowledge because it's the same for both fish, and then I'll individually break down how to go about fishing for these creatures here. So first and foremost, the NPC knowledge, if you want to go that route, is at Stonewood Harbor. Find an NPC and talk to them and hope for the best that they talk about a sailfish or a sturgeon. You have Port Delicia is also another option. Of course, Dewhaven Logging Camp can offer some knowledge about sailfish. And then Veloa itself, the sturgeon spawns in these waters, so it is the closest. And you have a chance at getting a sturgeon piece of information here as well. And then I've heard rumors that Silver Moon Trading offers that, but I personally have not seen that pop up at all. So it might be something that you don't want to risk, but if you want to try it, you're more than welcome. And now to go over the process for catching these deep sea creatures here, and we need a boat to make our chances go up a little bit. You are welcome to fish for the sailfish off the dock or somewhere nearby the Port Delicia. However, if you sail out into the open waters, you have a better chance at getting this fish. So our closest rowboat is going to be over here by this nexus, and you can just go down the cliff and you'll see a boat waiting for you. And so what I'm going to have to do is sail the open seas, go on a bit of an adventure, sail around the coastline, and come back up through here and then sail over here. So I'm going to go ahead and tune in with you guys once I make it to our spot, and we'll start fishing for a sailfish. All right, so from our port, I've sailed around the continent and through the little channel here, and now I am right here at this exact spot. It doesn't have to be this exact spot, but just somewhere in this general region. I flipped my boat so it doesn't move anymore. So it wasn't on purpose, but hey, it worked out. But anyways, now I can stand here and fish in peace. And, you can try this method out here in the deep waters. You can go to the dock. You can try the NPC knowledge. It seems like everybody has a bit of a different RNG pattern. So you might get it right away when you fish, or maybe you go to the NPCs and get it right away. Everybody's like, oh, this one method worked for me. So it's worth trying all of them if you're stuck on one of the methods. But anyways, I'm going to fast forward to the sailfish until I get that fish caught. And just for reference on what the striped marlin looks like if you go fishing for it, it's right outside of Port Delicia, and it's a bluish white fish, similar to the sailfish, but a little bit different, and that is what it looks like. So there you go. Words cannot explain how happy I am right now to be holding this sailfish. Oh my goodness, was I ready to give up on this game. This fish is so rare and so difficult to catch. I'm having an absolute nightmare of a time catching it, but I finally did it, right? So I wanted to share some of the advice that I've had at this point. So we're going to go ahead and catch it, make sure we got that. Now, I left off on that rowboat, and unfortunately, I accidentally reeled in a striped marlin, and that put it on my back, which meant that I couldn't fish anymore, so I had to go sell the marlin at the vendor here, and then I went out to where I'm at right now, which is I would say the #1 recommended spot for, like, the regular fishing. Like, if you're going to stand here on this little pier here, you can stand on the edge of the rocks and cast your line kind of towards that direction right there. That's where I had the best chance with the large fish. But outside of that, the rowboat is just as good where we left off. And outside of any of the fishing spots, I would say the knowledge is likely to be right here. And I'll show you guys which NPC has that knowledge now that we have our fish. It's a lady. Any of the ladies can actually tell you, but in this village, it's gonna be a lady in green. She's always here. It's just whether she has the NPC marker or not. So if you have a woman over here with the white dot, definitely talk to them. They have the highest chance at the rare fish. But yeah, it's this lady right over here. She'll be in different spots, but if you see this lady and she's able to be talked to, good chance you'll have the sailfish knowledge for the fish itself. But anyways, oh my goodness, was that a nightmare. Now I can sell it for about $70 as well if you guys want.
Every legendary catch, there's nothing finer than a quiet day by the water.
$63. Okay. Got rid of that sailfish. You're also welcome to put it in a pond at camp if you guys want. It's up to you. I'm just after the platinum. So now let's move on to our final fish. All right, moving on to the sturgeon. Of course, you have the NPC knowledge. It's not likely, but those same spots apply in terms of that, and also Veloa for the NPC knowledge. But the normal way to go about this, it actually has a little bit of a higher rate than the sailfish, but not by much. But you can grab the boat from over here, the rowboats. There's a couple over there. Sail all the way over to our mark. And if you guys want the lineup here, it's kind of even with these two little fog clouds. And if you look at the E, it's on the very left side of the E is where I'm located right here. And so we're in the middle of the ocean on my rowboat. And you can face back towards the mainland or outward, either way. Or you can alternate. And as far as this one, since we're pretty deep out here, we don't have to cast very far. We can just leave it right here. And then you're going to wait for the sturgeon, which is going to look, it's a pretty large fish, not as big as the sailfish, but it's a dark color when it swims up. And it should be the only large fish that you're catching out here pretty much. So good luck, and I will tune in once I've caught our sturgeon. All right, we got a live one. It was my second cast out here. Very simple. This is what it looks like here, the sturgeon. There we go, sturgeon. So it's kind of a like a blackish brown color with the scaly back, and it's not too bad. But casting straight down was very simple to see what fish was biting, and like I said, it was my second cast, and I got that fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and catch it, and there we go. And now if we take a gander at the knowledge category, we are completely done with the large saltwater fish, which is by far the most difficult of the whole section here. So we've gotten everything done except for the aquatic creatures, which are just kind of random. These are not going to be as difficult as what we just did. So I'll go over all of this in just a second. Okay, going over the ones that I've already got, the seahorse, shrimp, and squid are from the merchants that we've spoken to at Velua and or Silver Moon Trading. So you should have those for sure. And then outside of that, the wharf roach we picked up during one of our faction missions. If you remember, there was a bunch of them. However, if you still haven't gotten it, they spawn on the beaches. You can find them. I'll show you guys on the map, but it's around the Velua area and or by Delizia on the beach. Same with the blue crab and the starfish. Both of those can also spawn in the same spots. So you can either check out these coves for the wharf roach, the blue crab, and the starfish, or you can head over to the Delizian beach over in this area and wander up and down the coastline until you find the starfish, blue crab, and wharf roach. But you probably have a lot of those already just from picking up stuff and or the knowledge that we've acquired from NPCs and whatnot. But just in case, that's where you find those. And then that just leaves the freshwater crab, which is going to be found in a river right here. So it's going to be in between this river. You'll find the freshwater crabs. And now that I've gone over where to find the ones that I've already got, now it's time to go over the 4 that you most likely don't have, which is I'm going to start with the blue whale since we've already got our boat out here for the sturgeon, and this actually makes this a little bit easier. So what we're going to want to do, if you don't have a rowboat and you decide to fish somewhere else, grab a rowboat. Again, you can find them over here at Velua and or all the way across at this spot right over here in this cove area right here. So either way, it doesn't really matter where you're at. Just somehow on this open ocean part of the map right here, sail out of bounds. Okay, so we're already over here. Just put a marker down and start sailing to your heart's content and get ready for a heart attack. This is a pretty crazy way to keep you within the world. If you haven't seen this, then I would advise pausing my video. Just sail out of bounds and experience it for yourself. Just a nice open ocean day, you know, Sunday, mid-afternoon. Chilling. What could go wrong? So you'll want to ignore all of the warning signs, by the way. Just keep going. Just try to get as far out as you possibly can. All right, we're almost at the boundary here. Oh, I'm aware. All right, here we go. It's Jonah and the whale time. Just keep on swimming. That's what I always say. Uh-oh. The water, she calls to me. Oh, that's a shame. Got ate by a whale. There we go. We got the blue whale. And now we can move on to our next creature. All right, so the next two I'm going to go over are the crayfish and the freshwater clam. So I've got the crayfish just now, but I'm going to show you exactly where I picked it up. And the freshwater clam is the other one that I don't have. So right here, you'll see that I have a freshwater clam right here. And I'm going to show you this spot here. It's a very good spot, high chance of both of these spawning right here. So it's exactly on this kind of like corner right here. And I'm going to show you exactly where I picked up the crayfish as well. Now, it might be in a slightly different spot, but this is right by where we started the game originally, just down the waterfall pretty much. But yeah, you'll see I have another clam right here. Very high chance of these things spawning here. And right here on the ground is where I found that crayfish. It looks like a lobster almost, just hanging out on the shoreline. You'll probably find a few of them. Let's see if I can locate another one. But either way, you should have a pretty good chance at finding them. If not, just reload the area, and you'll have no problem, I'm assuming. I've found it every time I come here. There's 2 or 3 of these things usually. So yeah, I got 2 clams and 1 crayfish in one go. But yeah, that's how you get the crayfish and the freshwater clam. And now we can move on to our last aquatic creature. All right, the last aquatic creature is the razor clam. And this one's a little bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing. You can find it in the world along the beaches. There's a bunch of different spawns, but they're very hard to spot. And it's a little hole in the ground, and you have to pour salt into it, and then you can harvest a razor clam. But also, I find it to be a little bit easier because if you do the research mission at our spot here, what is it, Dewhaven Keep? You might have already done this, to be honest. I had recommended maybe finishing out the research if you guys wanted to, but we at least did the first mission a handful of chapters ago. And so at the Dewhaven Keep, if you research right here, this is a guaranteed way to get the razor clam. So it'll be the razor clam research, in case that wasn't obvious. And it's only 6 hours, so it'll be done in no time. I can pop back to camp there and just sleep, and then we can continue on with this research mission. So I'm going to do that, and I'll catch up with you in a second. Okay, I've made it to the point where the research has now stopped, and it's taken me over to the castle once again. So find your guy here, the Institute assistant.
Razor clams. I need more razor clams. Forgive me. I was lost in thought. Do you recall I was studying razor clams? I was making great progress.
How many times can this guy say razor clams?
Sadly, the last specimen died. Just a bit more observation and we'd be done. It's maddening. Could you please help me?
I suppose I could help you, yes. All right, so now we can go gather the razor clams, and they are pretty far away. So we have to now teleport over here. Head to our nexus right here. All right, let's go harvest some razor clams. Get our last aquatic creature. These are down here by the ocean. So if you guys, I for whatever reason don't feel like doing the research and you want to just find it on your own, this will at least show you how to do it and what they look like. All right, and then once we're in this area, you're going to look for something that's spitting water out of the ground here. There's one right here, I believe. Yeah, you'll look for these little mini mounds here. It spits out water. It has a little hole. And when you have your lantern above it, you can sprinkle salt into the opening there, which will force the razor clam out of its shelter. See it come out there, and then now we can go ahead and take it. And boom, we have the final aquatic creature. So that's how you do it. You'd have to go find them. They spawn all over the different shores, especially where there's sand. So all over the world, if you guys go up and down the coastline, you should have a chance at finding the razor clam. But the research is the fastest way, in my opinion. But there we go. We popped the skill point there for the challenge. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have one challenge left in this game. So we got the underwater ecosystem, and now we have to get all the tiny citizens of grasslands. So let's go ahead and move on to our next section, section 3. Okay, so this section's all about collecting the insects of the world. There's 76 in total, and we first need to get set up by building the backpack and also using the Helm of Knowledge. So, as far as the categories go, the butterflies are going to be the most abundant one. The moth, bees, beetles, and arthropods are the very common insects that you'll see around the world, and the other. So you're probably going to have most of these, I would imagine, and just need the butterflies. So I'm going to go through each category and show you guys where to farm and how to get that. But first, let's get set up by building the backpack. So I'm over here at the Cuckoo Workshop. Of course, you guys know where that's at the Southern Hernan here, or I guess like Western Hernan. But anyways, craft the insect backpack. So you're going to need to make a cuckoo pot first with timber and iron.
You got a problem with me?
And then we're going to make a cuckoo pack with the peddler pack.
Oh, it's you.
And if you guys forgot where the peddler pack is, it's right here at this spot on the map, the Toadsmith Tannery, and you can just steal it. So we've done it about 4 times throughout this walkthrough.
Took you long enough to get
But
here.
now that we have that, we can craft the cuckoo insect gathering pack. And it requires 3 abyss cells, the cuckoo pack, and the ore of recipients and the crown of shadows. Both of those are picked up off the worm bosses, or big enemies, or the bush enemies that we kill around the world. So that's how you get those. And the abyss cells are from the abyssmus doors and all that. You should have plenty of those after getting the cave. At this point, all the caves, they have a lot of those as well. So anyways, once you're ready, craft the insect gathering pack.
To admire
This is basically a big vacuum for anything that's nearby.
as easy as it looks.
So we can go ahead and swap over to the insect backpack, and then also go ahead and equip the Helm of Knowledge. And we're going to use both of those to collect insects. So those are the 2 things you want to do. The next thing I would advise, especially if you're coming straight from the fish, is to clear out your inventory as much as you can. Just get it completely wiped full so you can basically collect as many insects as possible, because we're going to use that to our advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that over in Pailune, and then we'll get started on where to farm these insects. All right, another mechanic that you can do with the bugs is once you start collecting a number of bugs, is actually use the children of the world. And, just like a normal kid would go play outside and catch a lizard or whatever, these kids are no different, and they have a lot of knowledge of the insects. So if they're an NPC on the map and they have the white dot, you can talk to them, and they're likely to give you NPC knowledge of whatever insect. However, you can also go ahead and gift them insects, and then if you build their trust up to 100, they'll usually give you an insect as a gift. So it's something you can do to offload your insects, but also, get some rare insects off of these kids. So just find a kid inside of Pailune, just somewhere, it doesn't really matter. Talk to them.
Use it to make a big, beautiful ice castle.
Okay. And then we can gift, and then just pick whatever you want. You get 10 trust per bug. And there we go, 100.
Here you go.
And then she's going to give me something most likely.
I wish you could join me and my friends. I really wanted
Yep,
you
we
to
got a
have
rhinoceros
this.
beetle. So it's going to be random, but they have a good chance of giving you some good bugs and something you might not have. So you're welcome to just like walk around, find the children.
One
There's
day
lots of
I'll
them
be
over
strong
here.
enough to carry a sword like my dad. Then I can protect the town too.
I didn't mean to actually greet her. Come on.
Here you go.
There we go. Give me the one I need.
Play together.
No.
Here.
Oh, I already got
Show it
that.
to me.
Ew. But yeah, you can keep going as you guys can. Oh,
Do you have a
no.
moment?
No, not the rock, paper, scissors kid. Oh, no, he's following me. But yeah, this is a good spot for all that. So if you guys want to, you can try to use the children of the world for the insects as well. All right, to start, I'm going to go over a generic farming route that you can run across the world to make this a lot easier. And then at the end of this, you'll have most of the insects after doing a couple different laps of this farming route. And then there's a few insects that spawn at specific times of day or locations, and I'll get more specific with those after I go over the farming route. But to start this farming route, you want to make sure that it's in the morning time, like 7, 8 a.m. Make a save. That way, in case it starts raining or something, you can reload your save and it's not a wasted day. Because a lot of these insects only spawn in bright sunny days in the flower beds and all that. So you want to go ahead and make about 7, 8 a.m., somewhere in there, sunny, make a save, and then you're good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then meet me over here at the inn to start. It's just outside of our camp. And there's a nice meadow right here. Okay, our first stop is over here at the inn inside of this small little area. And to start, you can go ahead and make sure that your insect backpack is your hot item. That way you can use it. And basically look for all these flower beds, things like that around the trees. Doesn't really matter exactly where. This thing has a pretty wide radius. But you can start vacuuming up anything and everything. And just start running around. And you might get lucky, you might not. It takes a couple seconds for your backpack to cool down. So if you're waiting on it, you can definitely just kind of slow walk the flowers and see if you see anything. And then just hit your backpack again. And obviously, the more insects you get, the more difficult it'll become to find them. That's where the Helm of Knowledge comes into play. But outside of that, so you're going to run. You see how I'm getting a ton of insects right now. And you can run over here to this lake. And then that's about it. So feel free to just run in this general area. And then when you get sick of that, we can head up to our nexus right there. All right, so at our nexus right here, we can run all over this area. So wherever you feel like you want to do it, that's fine. Get a lot of the beetles and whatnot on the trees. Oh, got an insect there. That's good. Yeah, the flower beds are the ones that have the majority of the butterflies and things like that, so... The trees will have beetles and the different arthropods, and then the flower beds will have butterflies and the moths. And some of the flies as well. So I'm just running all over this area. No rhyme or reason, really. But anytime you see the flowers, definitely aim for those. You see I'm kind of zigzagging my way from the nexus down to our corner right here. What's up? What's up, guys? Just catching butterflies. All right. Oh, sorry. And I can hit the thing down this coast here. But after this, we can head to our next spot. See, some insects are region specific, so that's why I have farming routes for each area. That way, it's never too repetitive, and also you can make sure you collect a variety of insects. So, you know, that's our second one. We have the Inn by Pailune. Our next one will be over here. This is actually a pretty big farming spot. We can go all the way in this whole area. So head to our nexus right here. All right, we're heading to the Star Ruins over here from our nexus. And along the way, just be hitting your backpack. Oh, we got another one. Let our backpack cool down. Yeah, this backpack is crazy. Does all the work for us. Yeah, these little flower beds here are really good for a lot of different types of insects and all that. All right, once you reach here, then we can go ahead and adjust our course over to this spot. And again, just hit your backpack on the way. Getting lots of butterflies. Yeah, by doing this like one time throughout the whole world, you'll probably have all the normal bugs if you didn't already. All right, and then from here, now we can head up to like around here roughly, and then you can teleport out of here. But just one more little run through the woods. There's a few more flowers and all that. The zebra longwing butterfly. Wow. All right, so yeah, you can finish farming out here. Now we can head down to Hernand and go to downtown Hernand. All right, once in Hernand, this spot over here, if you don't have any of the Hernandian insects, this whole road right here and just general area is pretty solid. There's flowers all down it. So we can hit our pack and just run down the road here. And if you don't have any of the generic insects, this is where you can grab them. You can see I'm getting just tons of butterflies and things. See, look at that. We got a monarch and everything. Another monarch. And then over here is kind of the end point that I like to stop at. Just hit these flower beds right here. And try to get over here as fast as you can. That way you can hit the little flower bed right here from up there as well. All right, so there you go. That's a short little farm. Of course, you can do this anywhere that you prefer, but I feel like that's a high density area. I'm trying to get all these farming spots next to nexuses, and then also incorporate a lot of the places that the community themselves have found to be good. So I'm trying to find the most dense areas, but of course you can always go to the woods and all that for some of the stuff in Hernand. But the last place in Hernand is going to be the apothecary. This is something that I'm going to go into in more detail when we get to the bees and honeybees and hornets and all that. But this area does have butterflies here, and I wanted to point it out just while we're on the farming route. You might want to hit this place if you haven't already. All right, so I'm heading from that nexus, the one where we get the peddler pack. Can hit our backpack on the way. And we're heading over to the apiary. Yeah, not many bugs on the way, huh? They're all over here. Now, I've already gotten the honeybees. I think the last one I need is the hornet, so that's not going to spawn over here. But the honeybees, the bumblebees, and all that are going to spawn over here. I know you think that it would just like immediately suck up the honeybees and all since we're at an apiary, but surprisingly it's not like that. It has a chance. So you just want to hit it kind of in the general area. There we go, honeybee. All right, so you can do that and you get some butterflies and all that, and that wraps up that area. So feel free to hit that. So again, we just start in Pailune, make our way south through Hernand. And now that we're ready, we can head over to the desert. Doesn't really matter where, but this is a hot spot for some of the insects. So I'll show you guys that spot. All right, so I'm over here by the nexus, and in this general area where I've marked the X, you're gonna be able to find scorpions and things like that. So they should be all over the ground. Oh, yeah, we have a few scorpions here, no big deal. But yeah, you can just kind of run in a circle around this area, and you should be able to get an okay amount of stuff. So everything basically spawns in Pailune or Hernand, and then the exception is the desert has a couple extra things. So it looks like I've gotten all the insects in our area, and yeah, that's pretty much that. So you can run a little bit further over there if you guys want. It's up to you. But that's the farming run. So now I'm going to get into the specific categories and how to get more niche insects and all that. All right, so our categories are all the different types of butterflies and moths. They all spawn exactly where I just showed you guys. So that's going to be just all in Pailune pretty much. All those different areas that I showed you, Hernand, Pailune, the desert, that's where you're going to find all the butterflies, and during the daytime. So that's going to be your highest rate of success for those. It's random, and I can't really like tell you where one of them is going to spawn, but all of them will spawn in those areas that I showed you. So there's that, and now that leaves the bees, the beetles, the arthropods, and others. Now arthropods and others are going to be pretty much the average bugs you see around the world. You should probably already have all of those and the others. But if not, there's the list of these. These are going to spawn on trees. Right where I showed you guys, you're probably going to have about 300 of every single one of those by the end of your farming runs. However, just in case, they spawn by the nexuses, they spawn by trees, on the ground. They're all over the place. And again, it's just the random generic insects for the other. And then the arthropods are the different ground-based insects and all that. We've picked up a number of these from Quest alone, so I'm assuming you guys have this or will have no issue finding the arthropod and others. Just on your farming runs, you'll pick up those. But that really just leaves the beetles and the bees and flies, which are pretty generic. The fruit fly and medium fly are generic as hell. That will be constantly be picked up. The honeybee, I just showed you guys where to get that at the apiary. The bumblebee is the same way. Now, the bumblebee and the hornet can be found in the same spot as well. So the hornet is going to be the more difficult one to find. It's a bit of a random chance between honeybee, bumblebee, and hornet. So you can farm the apiary for the bumblebee and honeybee and all that, but the hornet is going to be on a tree inside of a nest. And the best spot, it seems like, for everybody is going to be the Flame Knight Castle over here at our nexus. And there's a few trees around here. And just in general, trees in Dominus, the northern side of Dominus, have more of the chance of the beehive nest. And it's going to be a bit of a random chance here. So we'll see if I have it. All right, I wanted to show this spot as well. This is the Abyss Crescent by the, of course, the Dewhaven logging camp. The gift that keeps on giving. So I have a pretty aggro bee nest over here. You can get bumblebee and honeybee from this. But yeah, anyways, there's I'm sure you can hear it. It's a pretty aggro bee nest. But when I spawned in, I was able to collect a handful of different things. I got the bumblebee and the honeybee. I just want to show that spot in case you have a honeybee nest there as well. But yeah, really it's the Flame Knight Castle and anywhere else that you can see honeybees and all that. The apiaries, but for hornets, it's going to have to be in a tree. Alright, so now that I've pissed off the nest here, I can go ahead and suck up the bees. Hopefully I get hornets. But what you want to do is find a nest and then kind of punch around it until you piss it off. And then you can suck it up with your backpack. Some people say cut the tree down. I don't have very good luck with that to actually get the honeybees to spawn or the bumblebees or the hornets. Personally, I think punching kind of near the tree but not actually at the tree will make it a little bit easier, but that's just me. There's also, I should mention, another good spot of trees right over here in the S. So this little field area right here is a good spot for some more trees to check for honeybees and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and fast forward until I find a hornet's nest, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, I wanted to show it. This is a hornet's nest. I just collected it with my backpack. I didn't even see the nest, and then I turned around and I got it. But anyways, it looks like this. Yeah, you see I had another one right there. But I'm just standing underneath it with the backpack, and I didn't even have to piss it off. I just stood underneath it, hit my backpack, and it collects the hornets straight from the nest. But if you need to, you can go ahead and punch around the tree if you guys need to get them aggroed or anything like that. But as you can see, I'm right here by the Nexus. It only took a few minutes, really, of just reloading. I think I reloaded the area 3 times, maybe, and then I got it right there. But yeah, just be patient. It's the one that looks like a cone, although there is apparently a low chance that the other nest will spawn hornets as well. But in my experience, the ones that look like a little acorn or something, those are the ones that are the hornet's nest. And so, anyways, that completes that category. And we've got the honeybee, bumblebee, hornet, and then the medium fly and fruit fly are very common. So as far as everything goes, you guys have an idea of the butterflies, the moths, the bees, and the flies, the arthropods, and others, and it just leaves the beetle category, which most of these are pretty common. However, there are a couple, so I'll go over the ones that are a little bit more unique and how to get those. All right, for the beetles, the rhinoceros beetle, the regular beetle, the longhorn, and the jewel beetle are all very common, and I'm going to show you guys a spot as well in case you need any of those. You're about to get a bunch of those. And then the palmer beetle is inside of palmer leaf crop plants, so I'm going to show you guys a spot for that. The firefly is very common, but it only comes out at night, and it's found inside the flower beds. The water strider is near any sort of body of water. The one up in Pailune that I showed you, our very first spot of the farming run, is very common for that as well. And then the last one that I don't have is a stag beetle, and that only comes out at night as well. And I'm going to show you guys a spot for that. But let's first go over the palmer beetle, just the palmer leaf. So if you head over to Poro Village, we have that one from that mission that we did. If you guys remember, it's right here. So we can head over that way. And I imagine you probably already have one of these, but just in case. So we'll drop down. And then you have a chance at farming a palmer beetle, which looks like we've got plenty of them here. Palmer beetle. Yay. Only got a few of them. just a few. 7, 8, 9. Anyways, that is that. So yeah, now we have all of them. And so again, the fireflies are very common just at night. So just go to the farming spots that I showed you and you'll have no issue there. Water striders by water. But that's all of them. So now I'm going to move on to the last one, which is the stag beetle. But first, I'm going to go there during the daytime just to show you guys a really good spot for other farming in case you want to change the scenery here. This is another really good. This is kind of like the northern Pailune where all those flower beds are really abundant. This is another area of the game that's really abundant. So this is where we get stag beetles at night, but in the daytime, it's very lively. So right outside the witch's house, all of these red flowers, the croton flowers, are going to have an abundance of insects. And then just this general area is going to be very densely populated with insects. Now the stag beetles are going to be on these white trees. You know, we have the regular ones right now, but the stag beetles are at night. But I'm just going to show you guys generally where to farm. Just to get the generic ones and a lot of the butterflies and stuff like that. So starting from up here, we can kind of just run down the hill and you'll start catching a lot of stuff as we get closer to the bottom. But you can get a lot of the beetles up at the top by the trees. So I kind of just run the red pastures here. And you're seeing me picking up a lot of different butterflies. So yeah, just keep running around. You'll get a bunch of different stuff. There's the rhinoceros beetle. So all the regular beetles, you can see we're getting plenty of those. All right, so that's that. Just keep farming it if you want to. And then at night is when the stag beetles come out. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to nighttime. All right, so I'm after the stag beetle. It's after 10 p.m., which is a perfect time. And we're looking for the white trees right here. And we can go ahead and hit our backpack. And we'll probably get a silkworm moth. Yep, there we go, stag beetle. So pretty common. Stag beetle and the silkworm moth are going to be your nighttime witch area bugs. We got plenty of those. You'll see that we get some other stuff as well. But stag beetles are not uncommon by any means. Just go to the white trees and hit your backpack. And if you don't get it, just reload the area and you'll have no issue. I get at least one every time I farm, and just get the trees like right up here, and then you can just reload the area if you don't get it. But that completes the beetle category. So now I've got every bug except for the butterflies. All right, and the last feature I wanted to show is the Helm of Knowledge. Now, if you're like me and you get down to where you only have a handful of butterflies left, you don't want to be sitting there spamming the insect backpack over and over and over with the chance of possibly not getting it, right? So you want to know exactly if there is a new insect or not, and that's where the Helm of Knowledge is nice. It tells you if there's something in your vicinity that has not been found yet. So it saves you a little bit of time from just running aimlessly around the world. So yeah, once you get to about 10, you'll start to do it. So what you want to do is equip your Helm of Knowledge. And then while you're in the mode, you'll see these little blue sparkles happening, and that's something that you haven't found yet. So then once you get over there, examine it, and that will give you whatever item it is. So for me, it was like a green sulfur butterfly, right? So I'll be in the area all normal, hit my ability. I'm in slow-mo. You know, we look around for any blue items, blue sparkles, and then we can scan it, and so on. So that's how you can find the insects that you don't have a little bit more specifically. Makes it a little bit easier than running all over the place. But anyways, at this point, I've gone over everything, and now I'm just going to go to the point where I get all the insects, and we'll continue on. All right, I have one more butterfly left, the painted lady. And we got it. Let's freaking go. That took a little while, I'm not going to lie. That was a couple hours at least of farming butterflies. But we got the painted lady, if I could catch it, just to have the last one in my pocket there. But yeah, we have the things. So now I know it's a special moment because if I redeem this, it pops platinum. So I'm going to go to a very special place for this platinum trophy to pop. All right, here's a look at all the butterflies, by the way, just in case you guys want a reference. Tropical butterflies, the forest butterflies, the meadow butterflies, and then we got the garden butterflies. There you go. And then all the other ones I'm sure you guys already have, but just in case, you got the moths, the bees and flies, the beetles, and the arthropods. So there are all the bugs. Oh, and the others as well. Whoops. So the other category as well. But there's all the bugs. As far as the butterflies, if you're struggling with some of the last couple butterflies, the places I found to be the best, just ignore my map right now. I've got some stuff going on. But the places I found to be the best are going to be up here as well for the last couple butterflies. Just in this general area, and then over here by this nexus, in this there's like a valley area right here. I found a really good success rate at those spots right there, and then also at the the inn of Pailune, where I initially showed you guys. I thought that was a good spot as well. I just kept bouncing back and forth between the nexus until I finally found those last few spots, and that worked out pretty well. Ladies and gentlemen, the journey of 1,000 steps has finally taken its last. And with this last step, it's led us right back to where we started, when we first entered Pywell. I figured for this monumental moment, we should return back to the beginning. You see, this is where we watched our brothers, our sisters get slaughtered. They died like dogs, bled like pigs that cursed night. But you see, that night of horrors, we arose from the ashes, just like that phoenix we tamed out in the desert wildlands. You see, our goal wasn't to return to normal. No. See, normal died that night with our comrades. We aimed to put the past behind us and build something new. And our comrades returned to us one by one. They were scattered like embers across the land. You see, it was at that point that we slowly built a name for ourselves, as our destiny pulled us across the regions, ever closer to the end. We connected throne to throne, power to power, as we rallied our allies for battle. War was imminent. We looked the abyss in the eyes, and we stepped straight into the void. We emerged victorious. Tamer of dragons, collector of bugs, fisherman of the sea. Ladies and gentlemen, our journey is finished. Are you ready? Take it in. You earned that platinum, comrade. All right, section 4 is all of the extracurricular things you can do after your platinum journey. So these are the extra things that you could be doing, the fun stuff and or just interesting things. And I'm going to list them all out for you guys. And then for all the stuff, I'm not going to show everything. I'm just going to link a resource in the description. That way, if you guys want to go do that, you'll have available resources for that. But to name all these, there's the treasure maps. There's 12 treasure maps around the world, and they lead to random loot. You can also get the Iron Eagle, which is the new legendary creature that requires a pretty specific thing. You have to get Mercury and or a Platinum bar, and then at a very specific time feed it to the Iron Eagle and tame it. So you guys might have seen that. It's the continued journey. It's one of the legendary pets. They said that they plan on adding more animals down the line. So if you're watching this a year from now, there could be more. But at the moment, it's just the Iron Eagle. But that's something you can kind of keep an eye on and tame the new legendary pets as they come out. And then, so the treasure maps and all that. And then outside of that, there's a lot of little things around the world that you guys might have done or not done. Starting with the dye shops. As you guys know, obviously I dyed my character for the Platinum Trophy. I dyed myself blue. But, you know, I had to go around the world and collect a whole bunch of dyes to do that. And so you might want to do that for yourself. You can see that if I go to dye,
just for a moment, very well.
I have I've collected like most of the reds and then all the blues pretty much, and all the teals and the sky blues. I did a lot of that just to be able to dye my armor. It doesn't take very long, honestly. There's very, very simple locations for all of those colors, and you can just bounce around the world and get all the colors, and then you have it permanently unlocked at that point. You don't have to craft them or anything like that. And so if you guys want, you can go crazy with the colors. I'll link a resource in the description to show you guys where all the colors are. And then if you guys want to get crazy with some dyes on your armor, then you'll have that ability. The next thing I want to go over is the research and the side quests. You know, obviously we haven't finished up all the faction missions. So if you guys are wanting to truly like finish everything, then you guys could be working on all the optional requests, commissions, politics, or the bounties, things like that. That's the only stuff that we didn't like fully complete, alongside of the research of each area if you guys want. We did everything that was required and then some, but of course, you know, there are the random side quests if you guys want. So I just want to mention that that's available also. Outside of that, you could also rematch the bosses after the updates. I've mentioned that before, but now that you guys are done, you have a lot of new weapon builds and armor sets and abyss gears. And if you guys want to get creative, you can start making up really cool builds and then challenge yourself with the bosses. And you can also scale it to your current level. That way the bosses are a little bit more difficult. And you can try out a whole bunch of new combat methods. You know, really, we got through the game with turning slash, but there's a lot of other ways to go about this combat game. So if you guys want to fight, one of my favorite methods is with the fans. You can throw fans at people and stuff. It's pretty cool. But there's a lot of different ways to fight in this game. And if you want to get creative, you know, the boss rematch is perfect for that. Outside of that, you can also be upgrading your camp. You can get the farming and the pond and the ranch all built out and upgraded. And if you guys want to get into that, you know, of course, it's all available here. And you can start building out your pond. So if you like the fishing aspect of the game, you can build a pond, and then you can store all your fish in your camp. And that way you have a nice little koi pond or whatever, you know. But outside of that stuff, we also have the train that goes around the world. If you guys want to ride the train, you can definitely ride the train. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that they are planning on adding co-op to this game. So it might be, if you want to play this with a friend at some point, you might want to like upgrade your world or whatever. It's unclear if it's going to be like Dark Souls, where you have to be within a certain level or a certain progression, or do you both have to start from the beginning? It's unclear at the moment. So I just know that co-op is coming at some point. I'm not sure how that's going to work though. But either way, it's something that you guys can look forward to if you want to play with a friend. And then the last thing I want to mention is that at this rate, they add something new every week. And so obviously, depending on when you're watching this, there might be a whole bunch of more content as well. This game seems like it's going to keep updating. There might be a DLC and all of that sort of thing. So outside of the Platinum journey, there's plenty to still do in this world. And I just want to mention all that. And the last thing I want to go over is some of the house items and all that, and how you can be getting some cool stuff. All right, welcome to the circus, everybody. We made the merry-go-round go around. And if you guys are wondering how I did that, once you come over here, whoops, you can spin this dial right here, the one that's moving. And then once you let go, you can go get on the horses here, and then it'll start spinning around. But yeah, I wanted to show the circus because there's a few things here that you might have missed. And obviously you can rematch the boss, but more importantly, if you head over to the back corner where the Ferris wheel looking thing is, you'll find the claw machines. And this is a way you can get some items for your house. There's like lights and dolls and things like that. So you have to pay money for it. And you can look at the items themselves. You can get kind of close and figure out what items in each cage, and you can kind of plan which one you want to go for. But I'm just going to show you like one of the machines here, just operating. So you can pay for multiple attempts here. I'll just do the one attempt. And you can go to the right and kind of line it up this way as well. All right, let's see. I'm going to go for this one in the front here. Oh, that's perfect. That's so perfect. Oh, it's dead on. Let's go. First try. We're just built different now. But yeah, you'll see that I got the lanterns for our house. So if you guys want some unique house items, there's that. Plus, it's just fun to go for the claw machine. But I didn't really get to show the circus throughout the playthrough. It really wasn't that important other than the mission. But if you guys want, you can have a bit of fun over here and just hang out at the circus and ride the merry-go-round and all that. But yeah, outside of that, the house items, you know, of course, you can buy it from the furniture shops. You can do dispatch missions, trading. There's a number of ways to get house items. I know some people out there really love setting up the house. And it seems like it's going to get more and more intricate because the developers have already talked about that. And so I expect that at some point the houses will become pretty intricate. I mean, they already are, but I think there's going to be even more items. So if that's something you're into, that's an option as well. You can get really into the house decoration aspect of things and all of that. And those are all the main things that you guys can be doing outside of the Platinum journey. And again, I'll have all the resources you need for those things linked in the description. And that wraps up section 4. And now let's get into our last section, section 5, which is the outro and my thoughts on the game and a few other things as well. So anyways, let's get into it. To review a game like this is not easy given, I mean, just how vast it actually is. It's always evolving as well. I mean, every week they're updating it. But I just want to start by saying that this game is not for everyone, obviously. It takes a very specific type of person who likes the dedication to see it through. You almost have to be a masochist like a Dark Souls player. And for this game, I think it's unfair to say it's good or bad based on who you are, because it's going to come down to your personal preference. It's not like a game like Resident Evil where you can just be like, oh, that was a good one, or it wasn't a good one. I think this game is very much like you're either going to love it or hate it. Very similar to Death Stranding, I think. That was a great game, in my opinion, but some people hate the game itself. So I think this game, to review it, it's unfair to just to like simplify it down to like an IGN review or something. So I would say that it's the challenge that I really liked about this game, the challenge to figure everything out, the challenge to get it all done. That's what I enjoyed about it. That's actually what I enjoy about Dark Souls the most. It's not the storyline of Dark Souls, I can tell you that much, and it's not the storyline of this game. It's really just the challenge of getting it all done. I think that's what I enjoy. And once it's all over, I then look back on the game so fondly, even though at the time it might have pissed me off a lot. And that's kind of how this game made me feel at times. I've never been more upset at a game and also loved a game as much as I have with this one, especially working out the walkthrough. It's been an absolute nightmare with updates and some of the issues I've run into, the sheer amount of time I had to put into it. It's been a ride, and I think I'm going to look back fondly, but it's definitely been an up and down roller coaster of an experience, and I'm sure that you guys have gone through the same thing as well. But just to like go over the main stuff, I would say the stuff I rate a game on is the gameplay loop, the look and the feel, and the functionality of the game, like bugs and all that. I would say the best parts about this game are that it's visually stunning. I think the world looks incredible and it feels very alive, and I think it's always it's always intriguing me. It's always involving, I think, with the updates and some of the new secrets and stuff like that that they keep adding. I think the world is just getting better and better. I think it's the most ambitious game I've ever seen. I think that's what really drew me to this game initially, was just the sheer amount of genres they tried to put together and the world of endless encounters. I feel like, you know, one minute you're on a horse track racing your horse, and then the next you're 10 miles up in the sky solving a puzzle. So it just like, it's everything in one game. Like I have a hard time explaining this game to people where I'm like, I'm riding a dragon with armor on right now, but I could also go up to the heavens and solve a puzzle, and then I could low-key come down and arm wrestle somebody. Like, it makes no sense, but it also makes sense. And this game has everything. And I think that's the best part about this game. And I haven't really seen a game like that before. So I would say that's the best part. The gameplay loop and functionality of this game aren't the best at this point, but I think they could be. And I'm not going to fault them on all the bugs. Obviously, when this game came out, it had a ton of bugs and glitches. It still has some stuff like that, but it's not that bad anymore. I would say a lot of it's been patched. I'm not going to hold it accountable for the way it released, although that was a big problem for the game and how it got a lot of hate. But outside of that, they have patched it. The dev team is on their best behavior now. They're making all the bugs go away as fast as they can. But for me, the biggest drawback of the game was the gameplay loop and the missions and things like that. So I would say the spawns and knowing what to do, where to go, and the randomness of things, I think makes it really hard for players to follow along. And I think it ends up deterring people from what they want to do. And, you know, with half the missions spawn only when you're near them. And it could be very important, and it might not be. Also, there's no way of knowing which mission matters and which one doesn't, what's going to get you rewards, what's not going to get you rewards. Sometimes it looks like a side mission, but it ends up being super valuable to something. Or you'll be up in the sky bridge and that fruit in the tree, you know, just looks like you should grab it as a reward, and then it ruins an entire faction later on. I think that sort of thing needs to be smoothed out in this game. The missions themselves, the NPCs, a lot of it just feels so random with no rhyme or reason. And I think that's been the biggest drawback for me. Outside of that, the gameplay loop, I think could be amazing. But I think they need to make it to where the turning slash and the endless healing and the Palmer pills are not the meta. I think that needs to be something that they balance if it's going to be a great game, because there's a lot of great weapons and builds in this game, but what it comes down to is volcanic eruption and do you have about 20 pieces of soup on you and enough Palmer pills, and you can get through anything. And I think if they would nerf that just slightly, it could actually force players to use the Abyss gears better and upgrade their armor and weapons and use the right kind of weapons with the elemental damage against bosses. I think that would force people to learn the game and also enjoy the gameplay loop for what it actually is and not just rely on spamming turning slash. Obviously, we did that because that's the easiest method, but I think that's something I would have as a drawback on the game itself. But that's kind of my main thoughts on it. I would say, you know, the other aspect that I saw a lot of people mention was the rewards for missions, like the witches, like you only get a cloak after doing the whole witch quest line. Some of the rewards for the main moments of the game felt underwhelming, and I think I agree with that. But it's not something I really care about because I always wanted the platinum trophy. I don't really care about a cloak or something. But for those people that are not really doing the platinum journey, I could see where that would be annoying. Like they might just want the coolest armor in the game, and that's that. And they don't really get much out of the side missions. But for me, every mission mattered because it's all going to lead to platinum. So I guess it depends on your take on the game. But anyways, I guess overall, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed the journey to plat. Personally, I liked working out the issues along the way, despite how frustrating it could have gotten. You know, I think that they could do a little bit better with making stuff more obvious. But it seems like they're changing every week. It seems like they're changing several things to align with the players and the needs of the community. So overall, I'm excited to see where this game ends up over time and see how much better it gets. Because just from the moment we started to now, it has evolved a lot, and a lot for the better. I don't think there's been one update that's really ruined the game. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. And that's my thoughts on Crimson Desert. And now I have a few announcements for the end of the walkthrough here. So first off, the behind the scenes video I wanted to post after the walkthrough is complete. So in the next few days, I'll be posting the behind the scenes video for anybody that's interested in what goes into a chapter for my channel, my process, and especially for a game like this. So if you guys are interested, I've made my very first behind the scenes video, and I'll be posting that shortly. Also, in the next few days, I'll be announcing the next game that I'll be covering. I have a community post up where people are recommending the games. It's not too late, so if you guys want to lock in your vote, definitely go over there and comment which game you guys want to see, and I'll be picking from that list. But just a fair warning, I am taking a day or two off and just to let my mind reset after Crimson Desert. And, you know, it'll be nice to have a break for once. But anyways, thank you guys, and now let's go ahead and do the unthinkable. Let's say goodbye to Pywell. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have supported this walkthrough. It has been a crazy process and by far the most difficult game that I've ever had to make a guide for. And I just want to shout out all of you guys in the comments who have helped me and others figure out stuff along the way, gave advice, and just kept the morale going. I hope that you guys all have enjoyed the journey to platinum as much as I did. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next game.